We can just pull this off.
Yeah.
You didn't plug it all the way in, just like you usually do with your Type-C ports.
So,
What's up?
hi.
You trying to charge your phone?
Yeah, I'm just showing if you. Yeah.
Is that the typical Apple?
There we go. There we go. No,
charger?
perfect. It's working now. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Why do you get a case on your iPhone?
Because
It's an
in
iPhone?
case you drop it.
Oh, okay.
What? Well, if you drop that, I mean, you shatter all of the lenses out.
Don't worry, I have a strap.
What's that strap going to do when you fall off a cliff from 100 meters?
If I fall off a cliff from 100 meters, do I still care about my camera?
Probably not. But hey,
Okay.
would you rather have a working camera or would you not rather have a working camera?
I wouldn't have a working camera or a non-working camera if I'm dead, so
I mean,
that's a
true.
problem solved. Let's move on. What is that?
What? This?
Yes.
This is a.
You can stop. You can
Very
stop about
big
lying about
camera.
your external battery because
No,
I
it's
know
not an external battery.
that
It's,
thing's battery is dead.
It's not dead.
It's dead.
It's at 75%. Like battery health. I mean, come on, but like
Let's
it's
see,
not that.
let's see.
No, let's not.
I'm
It's all good. Don't worry.
pretty sure it's not 75%, but more like 75 divided by 5%.
That's a very low number. Are you sure? I doubt that. Okay, so this is better.
Why?
Can you film at 4K on that?
Quick check.
Oh, how unfortunate. 4K is not there.
It does
1080p.
720p, 50 FPS.
You're killing me.
It does 1080p, 24.25 FPS.
You're literally killing me.
It does 1080p, drum roll,
2 FPS.
25 FPS.
I can do 4K 60 FPS.
Oh, you know what's really the modern thing to do?
No.
640 times 480 on 25 FPS.
Nobody does that.
Yes.
Am I right?
That's cringy, let's move on. Hello, welcome to Tech Talk. This is your typical Apple fanboy, Luca.
And he's your typical Windows human being. Not sure what to say about those people. We don't talk about them very much.
What do you mean? Windows laptops are fine.
Well, they're not that bad, but I mean, they're not extraordinary in any way, shape, or form. What do they have that the iPad Pro these days doesn't have? It's got a 2-in-1. I'm surprised if they didn't start supporting the next Mac OS.
The iPad Pro 2020, very ambitious and interesting product.
It is not just ambitious, it is innovative. It's at the cutting edge with its iPad software. iPad OS was actually just unveiled, and the camera's LiDAR sensor and its 2-in-1 is amazing. I've used it, and trust me, it is impressive to say the least.
It's a very Apple product, I'm just gonna say. You buy the iPad for it. Base model is like $1,500 around. But when you want that full iPad Pro experience, you experience that at 120 Hz. You experience that Face ID, that LiDAR, that better than
No, all
most
of that
people's
is included
phones.
in the base package.
Yes, but you want to
All
get the
phones,
full
by the way.
experience. You gotta get the keyboard. You gotta get the trackpad. You gotta get the Apple Pencil. Although I don't know how to draw, I still want it because that's the Apple way. That's the ecosystem.
That's the thing. It's compatible with all these things, but it's not necessarily needed. You don't have to have a keyboard, a mouse. You don't have to have the pencil. As you can choose what you want. Pick and choose. Let's just face it.
Yeah, for me, the iPad Pro is more of like a meme. Because they made it so bendable.
It's not bendable.
It's not bendable. It's not bendable. It's not bendable. It's not bendable. It's not bendable.
Oh.
This is the first folding phone.
Yes, Apple made it a couple of years ago, and because the aluminum they used, correct me if I'm wrong, aluminium, it's really bendable.
Depends on where you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be bendable, but let's face it, the iPad is not bendable.
It is bendable.
I haven't noticed any of those issues.
It's not bendable.
You know what's more of a meme?
You.
God. The ProMotion display. I'm not sure if it's called the ProMotion or anything. That's just, correct me if I'm wrong, is an LCD panel.
It might be.
It is.
It's retina.
Well, the thing is, they made such a bendable iPad,
It's
but they're not
like,
using it.
You could say that this is bendable, even though this isn't the iPhone 6 Plus, it's just the iPhone 6s. You could say it's bendable because if you put it under a press, under the right circumstances, you can bend this. Sure, you can bend anything under the right circumstances.
It's not bendable.
This is not special in that way. It is special in general, though.
Okay, enough talking about the iPad itself. What I think is interesting about Apple's products nowadays is that we know that they've ditched your MacBook, right?
Wait. Let's not jump to saying this. The longevity of this MacBook is
It's supreme.
it's still going from 2016, early 2016, as a matter of fact. They might not be selling them anymore, but you can still buy them from third-party sellers.
Yeah, and what's interesting is, I think Apple has pre-planned on their whole iPad Pro thing, because if you look at it, it doesn't have a fan.
Wait. Do you want a loud, thick MacBook, or do you want a small, quiet, thin MacBook?
When you say quiet, you mean
This is
literally
silent.
silent.
Um,
I think, yeah, this one's using a Core M3 processor. It's a dual-core processor, and I think it's 14 nanometers? Yeah. So,
yeah.
and it uses LPDDR3, which,
Well,
let's
the
face
14
it, nobody uses anymore, okay? Our film camera, the OnePlus 7T Pro McLaren, it uses 12 gigs of LPDDR4X.
But when did you buy that?
Okay. I did buy it in 2019.
How much was it again?
Basically the price of a laptop.
Exactly. You spent the price of a laptop on a computer these days, and it's not even that much better. This is a better process. It does not have a better processor. I wish it had a better processor. It's got better battery life. And the OnePlus 17 McLaren Pro, let's just face it, there's too many names in this.
Okay, and
that's
it's
the only thing I can
stupid.
agree with.
Nobody should buy it. I love it, but nobody should buy it.
Why
It's too
shouldn't
expensive.
you buy it?
It's a McLaren phone. You get like a fancy charger, you get a fancy case, but it's like, I don't know, $200 more. Buy the normal version. Why are we talking about this? Let's move on. So, we all know that Apple is gonna bring in the ARM-based processors into their
Yes, they
MacBook
actually
lineup.
already have with the Mac Air, the Mac Mini. Sorry, that was a mistake. The Mac Mini having a A12X processor at the moment. I believe it's configurable up to 16 gigs of RAM, though it's only a developer kit at the moment. They're expected to be unveiling a new MacBook with a Apple Silicon chip later this year.
I think that is very interesting because if you look at the MacBook MacBook 12-inch 2016, it is a MacBook that is prepared for ARM chips. But I think when they made it, they were like, you know what? If we're buying stuff from Intel and we don't have the best of our chips yet, we can only get like a Core M3 or something because it doesn't have a fan. Let's face it. I don't know what they're gonna do with the new launch of the ARM MacBook, but I'm
What do you
sure
mean
it's not
they're-
gonna have a fan.
They can configure it to whatever they want. If with rumors of Apple glasses just around the corner, there are some estimates are as early as this year, guessing that predicting that Apple will unveil some Apple glasses. I reckon I can't wait for it. And with if they make their own chips for it, that means they can put their interest where they want, whether they want to have it for business play or whatever else they want.
Yeah, and you find that impressive when a guy who owns the Oculus Quest says that. Because, let's face it, the Oculus Quest is one of the best VR experiences out there for an
Standalone.
affordable price. But the main point I want to bring out today is actually the fact that MacBooks are more and more like iPad Pros.
Okay.
Apple
This-
is making keyboards and trackpads for the iPad Pro, and the MacBooks are soon getting ARM chips. So, I don't know what they're thinking.
They are merging, let's face it. I reckon that you will never completely abolish the MacBook, but I reckon that pretty soon the iPad Pro the MacBook will become pretty obsolete on Apple's lineup. With their prices actually getting cheaper with the iPhone SE recently released, which is kind of irrelevant, but that's heading towards the right direction for cheaper for Apple.
Yeah, but
Contrary to what
think,
OnePlus has actually been doing, with the OnePlus 8 Pro being a great phone but a very expensive phone.
what I think Apple is trying to do here is a bit like what Toyota and BMW has been doing with their sports cars.
What, getting faster and more fun? I'm
You're
not
going to
sure. I'm
trigger
not that
a
big
lot
into
of people.
No.
So,
Never mind. Forget that.
if you know cars, you must know that there's currently a little interesting car thing happening with the Toyota Supra and the BMW Z4. Now, this new Supra, they're basically the same car, the Supra and the Z4, but the Z4 only comes in the soft top convertible thingy, but the Supra only comes with a coupe. Not a coupe, American viewers, coupe. So that brings a very interesting question. Is Apple doing the same thing? I think so, because what they're offering is the iPad Pro only comes in a touchscreen variant, because it's an iPad, obviously, and you can take the screen out.
Why would you want a non-touchscreen variant?
That's the MacBook. They're basically the same. Everything is
Forget-
basically the
Forget
same.
I just said that. It's not everything is exactly
Everything
the
is
same.
going to be the
Because
same.
this is a clear difference. This is very hard to open. This is actually, I believe that it's thinner. It may be less powerful at the moment, but this is for a different market. This is for the kind of people who don't touch their screen. They just want to type. They don't want to go... They don't want to do this. They just want to be able to type.
I think what the new MacBooks is going to become is more like that instead of this. So this is kind of a strange product, to be honest.
Yeah, because you can't... No.
It's too heavy for a 2-in-1, honestly. I know you've got the keyboard with the iPad Pro, but the screen doesn't come off, so... I don't know what HP is doing.
This is important, let's face it. What is this?
It's
He's
a
got
dongle.
a dongle. He's got that because this trackpad feels horrible. That is why I'm sticking with Apple, my friend.
Can you resist a G502?
You don't have a G502.
Shut
And you'd use Bluetooth even if you did.
Okay,
Let's face it.
let's face it. It's a Logitech dongle, so might be.
A Logitech dongle. That's not saying anything. I've got a Logitech dongle. I got a $20 mouse off eBay once. It was not $20. It was fake.
That's $20.
Irrelevant.
Let's just skip over. So iPhone 12. Anything you want to say?
I think that I can't wait for it, but have you heard the rumours that it's not going to be shipped with headphones or even a charger?
I think it's a smart choice because it lowers down the cost of the phone.
No, that's the thing though. It doesn't lower down the cost of the phone that much. What it does though is it means that all the e-waste that people would have, like, let's face it, most Apple people have been invested for years in the Apple ecosystem. Another charger is just going to be wasted. Apparently, this is what the word on the street is, that they're going to be completely portless next year, and this would allow them to focus on wireless charging. It would be a lot more waterproof, and let's face it, hopefully cheaper, but probably not. The iPhone 12, I can't wait for it to be released, but until then, we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all we've got to cover right now. I'll see you in the next news segment.
Yeah.